Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's Mix here, and today we have a long-ass video, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into it. We're judging the TLMC 18 maps, and as you can see, we got a bunch of maps to go through. We got Rush, Macro, Standard, Freestyle, and this ain't going to be one video. It's going to be multiple videos, and like I said, I'm literally just going to go straight into it. We got first map here, Brimstone. We got a scoring guideline. Over here, sorry. Scoring guidelines right here, okay? And we got the maps here. So first category is going to be Rush. I've already got Brimstone loaded in, not only on this picture, but on the editor and in the game as well. So let's get started. Okay, so I actually already read the description, but I'll go ahead and read it for you guys here. Brimstone is a very small scale map with bounds of as little as 108 by 116. Smaller than any other Rush map, with only Waterfall by Superman coming close. The map features an unpassable center that draws the rush distance in line with other maps of the same type. Typically, players will find the shorter routes to also be more narrow and difficult to attack against a defending player. As players spread over the map, they will find themselves contesting for bases over the spiral pattern. Okay, so looking at this here, this is the spiral pattern. We got main base, main base. Off the bat, the bases here look pretty easy to take. The fourth is a little farther out, but and I know there's like some accessible points here. And by the way, I just want to reiterate actually that I am judging from the Terran POV. There are other judges for other races. I don't know who they are, so don't ask me because I have no idea. But I am judging this from the Terran POV. So a lot of what I'm talking about is going to strictly be from the Terran perspective. If you're another race, or if you're a Pro player, Zerg player, and you're wondering where you can watch other people judge, I don't know, because I don't know who they are. All right, so we're gonna wall here, you wall here, and wall here. This one. So these actually don't look that bad to wall off at all. So I think like in the TVZ, I'm not like super worried about this because I can actually just wall this, you know. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases. Okay, the two in the middle don't seem too bad. Those seem like, you know, like they're close to each other, and I feel like it adds something different. But you could also like, I think as a Terran, it might be a little bit easier to abuse this faster. That's it though. Not that the other like. We'll test it, but maybe putting a tank here and hitting this base, and putting a tank here and hitting this base is just a little bit easier as a Terran because you have access to those units faster. I think as for the other races, it might be a little bit harder. But that's something that we'll check out in the game or in the editor. The main looks pretty big. This is a big topic conversation, and it was also a big topic conversation in the last Team Liquid map contest, at least for me anyway. Just because big mains usually equate to good maps for 4-gate blink. And we do have that in this current map pool with maps like Dragon Scales, Ancient Cistern, Gresvin a little bit, but actually not as much, surprisingly. But really, Dragon Scales and Royal Blood. Dragon Scales, Royal Blood, Ancient Cistern. These side cliffs are absolutely humongous, and it's not necessarily bad for the main to be big, but the accessibility of the main is pretty insane. On those maps, and so that's a big 4-gate blink map. So it promotes a lot of that kind of the gameplay. Balance issues aside, I think maps that kind of promote one specific playstyle are a little dull. Like it's kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like there's no variety in builds or stuff like that. It's like one thing is clearly really, really good, so this is what we're gonna do every single game, kind of thing. Balance aside though, because I know Protoss is not in a good spot right now competitively. So balance aside, okay. And yeah, so I think overall this map looks pretty nice. I mean, the mineral lines are pretty far inside, so you can really tell off the bat that the map maker accounted for the Liberator positionings or some sort of air abuse from Terran right here as well, so that's good. This seems pretty interesting. There's actually a map that this reminds me of. I think there was another map that had this, and it was oh man, why can't I remember? It was a map Maru played against Myung Sagon in the Pro League though. It kind of reminds me of this map. I'm sure some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. All right, so here in the editor, you can actually see a little bit better, and I don't know what the hell I'm grabbing on right now. Can I just like? Okay, that's terrain. Oh God. Okay, so you can actually, I guess you can filter stuff here. But yeah, you can see there's a command center, rocks, the terrain, and yeah. So this I do like the map editor, but sometimes it can be a little bit confusing because like so much shit around it. I'm also not 100%. I'm not super nuanced in how to use this. So what I'm gonna do instead is I gotta load it in here. So we could just take a quick look here. Yeah. So here, anything coming through here from the airspace would be pretty accessible. And that's pretty shite for Terran, right? Because if I run a woodline drop through here, it'll just die. Um, so you do have to be a bit more careful about that kind of stuff if you're planning on doing that. Some sort of big drop or stuff like that to the sides can be pretty exposed, pretty dangerous. But you can see here I'm talking about those little pockets of airspace right here. There's nothing here. Here, there's a bit of an air pocket of airspace. So pockets of airspaces are good because you can park there with your Widowmine drop in case it gets surrounded or something like that. They're not super abusive to where I can fly through the entire map and then make it to the end. So that's something that as much as it sounds very nice as a Terran player, we shouldn't do that, or we shouldn't have accessibility access to that. The main, you can see the main is on the bigger side, so it doesn't look as big as it did in the editor, but you can see that it is pretty huge. Oops. Oh no, not my video. Don't mind that, guys. Hello, I'm here. Okay, so you can see that it doesn't look crazy. Cliff here, and cliff here. Okay, so there's a couple of cliffs. That's a little bit not concerning, but it is good for like proxy reapers, I suppose. So this could be a map where you can proxy reaper. One off the bat, like for Protoss players, I don't know where the fuck they would wall, to be honest, but I guess that's on them. Hopefully their judges figure that one out. And you can see what I'm talking about here. Like these aren't actually super big, so you could quickly wall like 3D boats and 3D boats, or like a bunker and 2D boats and like 3D boats. You know what I mean? So you might see a lot of camping on this map. Funny enough, even for a rush map, because like it seems like the 4 bases are pretty close together to where you can actually take them. This third is kind of far. I think it's a little bit farther. I think it looks farther here than it did in the editor. Funny enough, kind of have to go all the way across this way over here. So as a Terran, I could see like gateway armies coming from one side and then collapsing on this third, for example. So accessibility of the third probably a little bit more difficult for well, to be honest, like the thing is, where Zerg taking this base is probably manageable if you can connect it with creep in time, but I feel like you're getting 2 base all in right here can be pretty nasty, right? I can see how there would be a tank spot here, a tank spot here. Yeah, see that? Like, if I position my tank here and position a tank here, then I have my bio here. I feel like they would want to take this third. But then this third runs the problem of if I put 2 tanks here and I have 60 Marines here, there's a bit of a choke. So it's interesting, right? Because they could also just surround me and go around like this. But if they're not actually careful enough and they just funnel everything through here, it can be pretty bad. Or if I do a big push right here and I position my tanks like right up against this, I can hit them as they're coming into the choke here as well. Maybe here. Okay, so you can see how that might bite them in the ass. These narrow chokes. I mean, it does seem pretty good for Terran, this map, I have to say. Even like 2 base all-inning, right? Because the third is pretty far, but if you just 2 base all-in like a Zerg player or a Protoss player and they try to take a third, if the third is so far away, might be easier to kill, you know? Okay, so what we're going to do now, we'll close this. Yes. Because I think I have to close out of it to then be able to reopen it, and my thing should fix here. There you go. Okay, so you're gonna be seeing some black screens. Okay, so I'm sorry, production is not 100% there. Okay, so if you look at the scoring guidelines here, Okay, we have. I need to like block this out. Jesus. Okay, we have. Yeah, we use competitively. Map has issues, but could be used competitively. I think there are no clearly like terrible fucking. You can't play like this map is completely unplayable kind of thing. Um, we do have one of the scoring notes here, which is basically saying that to not excessively. I'll just read it. Please refrain from excessively penalizing maps that only have minor issues preventing them from being ladder compliant. An example: giving a score of 1 because the liberator space behind a single expansion was properly measured. Please point out such flaws in the comments section so they can be addressed. So, like that expanding those little ramps or those little chokes outside the bases could also be like edited. They could be slightly wider. So I think otherwise from the Terran perspective, I guess I'm reiterating from the Terran perspective, that map actually doesn't seem bad. And if we're talking about rush category, early aggression, offensive play, I think that's the kind of map that does favor early aggression and offensive play or aggressive play. So I'm gonna give it a 4. Um, if I were to give it a 5, it would probably be, and I'll write this down. There's judges' comments. If I were to give it a 5, I think what would be changed is probably those little ramps outside the base. I do think it's hard to balance that, to make them not too wide, but then not too small, right? Because if you make them too wide and you have multiple wide ass ramps, it's kind of a pain in the ass to defend. It's really just a hard thing to balance, if I'm being honest. And that's really the hardest part about adding like unique features or cool things. It's with like StarCraft, it's like insanely hard to balance it. You know what I mean? And not have it be like abusable to in some capacity or in some way. So and then the one other thing are like the little cliffs to walk up on to shoot the units on the high ground. I think that's also for like a really good part of the airspace. I think that's pretty tough as well. Especially because a lot of openers for Terra revolve around like having a place that's at least not super abusive where I'm like flying through half the map in safe spot, but also not too much of a chunk of the map where I'm just like I could just lose the units. You know what I mean? Um, so that's my scoring there. So miscellaneous notes and info. Okay, so people add extra stuff there. Okay. Map score. Oh, sorry. So we'll give it a 4, and then we're gonna write. Okay, so I felt like the map fits the rush category perfectly. Yeah, pretty much very well. My 2 concerns with the map. 2 concerns, yeah, with the map. First, the multiple what is it? The multiple like chokes leading into the bases seems extra. It does seem like particularly abusable for Terran. Usable for Terran. I'm sure this is something that can be tweaked slightly, but I did feel that right outside both the triangular and the linear third bases, Terran had this nice siege tank positions that can make it very tough for Zergs or Protoss players to attack into. That's the other thing too. Even if for Protoss players, it would be pretty tough to attack into those things. Could you imagine? I got like 4 tanks sitting on this cliff, and you try to walk through that thing and just fucking die. You get stuck on the choke, and just like all your fucking sentries just explode to one volley of tank shots. So yeah, it's okay. So I'm giving this one a 4. I'm getting it a 4 because I do feel like that's something. If we're following the scoring here, I feel like that's something that could actually be fixed, right, or tweaked, and has issues but could be used competitively. Now I'm deciding if I change it to a 3 because of how I feel about this. Like this right here. This right here. I mean, this one seems like a bit worse. This one on this side. This one doesn't seem as bad. Like, it's not perfect, but it's not as bad. I think maybe if these two were slightly wider, or maybe just one was a little bit wider, it could be better. Kind of like this one here. Like, this one is not two separate ramps. It's just like one, you know, decently sized one, but yeah. Yeah, I think 4 is good. Otherwise, I feel like the map is actually pretty nice. Like, this is a cool idea that's, I feel like, balanced. This video is going to be the video where I lose supporters, smooch. Okay. All right, we'll move on here. We'll go to Pacific Rim. I'm already 14 minutes in, 15 minutes in. Oh, wait, this one looks very nice. Whoa, that's very aesthetically pleasing. I know we're not allowed to judge on aesthetics, but that's pretty nice looking there. Okay, so we have main base. Again, maybe this is fucking humongous, but it doesn't look super abusable by Blink, boys. So that's kind of nice as a Terran right there. I do like that a lot. It's not that 4K Blink is not defendable, but it's like, it's actually insanely good when the maps get huge accessible mains like that. So I feel like having them accessible is one thing, and having them big to be able to move around is something else. But then having it like super easy to just get in and out and kill your shit is like extremely terrible design. But okay, one base, we have main, the natural. The third here doesn't look too far away compared to the other map. The fourth seems a bit far, but you can also wall this right here, so you guys can see that right there. Just one access point you can just seal down. The third down here has multiple access points, so I could see this, like, if you're behind against Zerg and they attack into you, they could get a pretty good surround on you. Not saying that it's unholdable or anything like that, or busted. It's simply that third base is just more exposed. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay. The fifth seems very far, but again, it's a rush map. So the point is that the fifth base, once you get to the fifth base, it's supposed to be like a lot more remote, because I feel like if this is, I feel like this map is literally meant to promote aggressive and defensive play. So if you're taking a fifth on this map, it's kind of like, what the fuck? Because the maps are smaller, right? So fifth and fifth for both people are pretty far, and then they share one base here each. This base is that an island base? Oh shit. Island base and a gold. You know what? That's actually not terrible, I think. Because the Protoss players and Terran players are probably more likely to take the island, right? But if you take the island, you're probably not taking the gold. So while you get the island, it's possible that your opponent takes the gold, and it kind of balances out, right? Plus you have this base down here too. I think that's a cool way of having variety without clearly being busted. Again, in my opinion, let me know what you guys think in the comments if you guys are interested in that. But I feel like it's actually not terrible. It actually seems pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to load this one. Oh, and let me read the notes here. Features, island base. Important. The island base is sparsely surrounded in air blockers. These air blockers allow all units to easily path around them. However, the air blockers are placed to barely block command centers from flying over. Oh, this is an attempt to remove Terran favorite aspect of island bases. Look at that, guys. You guys are talking shit about map makers that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about. But look at this. Look at this man right here. Or person, I apologize. Look at this person over here. They know exactly what's going on. Okay. Let's continue reading. These air blockers don't impact gameplay outside of blocking command centers. Okay, that's important, right? Very important. Cool. Acceleration zone. Run by third to third rush path can be closed via the collapsible towers. Rich base and the blockers. Okay. So we're gonna load this into the editor now. And it's called Pacific Rim. Do I have to make a Dropbox account? I have to. No, let me down. There you go. Okay, cool. That's right, Dropbox. You ain't gonna get me to make an account. Okay, I'm very intrigued by this map. It looks pretty sick, actually. Oh my god, that scared me. Also, I don't know why I have this clicked. If somebody could help me, that would be cool. Oh, I have like a random object here. How do I just like not click an object? Here, we'll just fly around with an armory. There you go. Okay, oh, okay, here you go. So the command centers can't fly through here, but units can. That's pretty interesting. Now, but I will say, though, that like, if you have a flock of mutas and you run into this little bit of a choke and there's like widow mines right here, you just fucking explode. So I do feel like if you get this base up, it's probably way easier to defend now because of the no-fly zone. You know what I mean? So not as easy to take if you want to like just fly the command center over, but probably easier to defend if these are going to be here. So that's hard, you know, like that's really a thing to consider. We'll load it into the game though, because it's possible that the space between these no-fly zones is way more spacious than I'm making it seem, right? Because I'm having an editor. Okay, there's that fort that I was talking about, and you can also use this to kind of play with walling off. So, oh damn, dude, that shit is loud. I apologize if I'm destroying anyone's ears. So we can look for supply depot. There you go. And then what you could do here in the actual editor now is just like wall off. So this looks like a 2 depot, 2 eBay wall off. So let's check. Ah, shit. Why did I spell like that? There you go. I think a tank should fit through there. Okay. And so this is pretty wallable until you break the rocks. If there's a way to like stop the sounds, can somebody also let me know? Configure controls. Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so this seems pretty wallable. This does not seem as wallable though, and that's fine because a lot of maps are like this now. You could just wall with the bunker and depots like I talked about before. So you could have like this and then add some supply depots like that. You know, something like that. Not. You don't have to wall this entire thing off, but just kind of wall like this and then take this base and also defend this. That's what I think. Okay. Get the space down here. The gold. In the middle of the map, it's pretty open, right? It's not anything crazy. There's like some spots for Terran, but nothing like super abusive. No hard chokes. You know, I think a brick on this map could be tough, right? Like you can see right here, these two ramps, like sieging tanks on these two sides. But also, you know, whenever you're sitting in the middle of the Terran, you can get surrounded. So not really something super crazy there. Oh yeah, let's take a look at the main. So right here you can see one cliff here only. So scouting for Terran will be tough on this map if you're playing against Protoss. Because Toss can just wall this off, right? And there's no more access points. And I think that's fine. Because not all Protoss players will wall that. I also like, if this makes sense, but on some of the maps, I feel like I could drop tanks behind the mineral line and then just kill shit up here. But I think at most, there's one tank getting, holy shit, getting dropped. So maybe we can siege tank. I could probably put one. According to this, only one tank fits there, which is fine. Right, because on some maps, like I think Babylon, I could put like 3 tanks or something like that, or 2 tanks, and just start killing shit up here. So that's pretty balanced, not abusable by Terran. Speed zones with collapsible rocks, and then I mean you can put some tanks here perhaps, but same thing, you can get surrounded from both sides. So there's no point where I'm like maybe unless I siege here. Oh yeah, collapsible rocks. Where I'm entirely free of like dying. Also, it's in a speed zone, so I feel like the Zergling's just gonna kill me, or the Banelings. Okay, and there's some airspace, right? There's some pockets of airspace. You don't want too much airspace. Some pockets. This might be a little bit too much here, but it doesn't seem like again it's anything very particularly abusable. Here you can hide, but it's not like I can siege a liberator and start hitting this. Okay, so let's load into the map, into the game, and then we'll go from there. I've done 2 maps in 30 minutes. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna do this. I'm gonna try to record the whole process, okay? I promise. Two command centers? Why, thank you. Okay. Oh, you can see all the stuff I built. Tank here. The wall off. We could probably test it. Oh, I don't think this tank can get out. I think... Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I want to take a look at this. Yeah, what do you guys think, honestly? So it does feel like this makes it easier to defend, in my opinion. It also kind of looks like, I don't know if this makes sense, but it also kind of looks like I just walk through it. You know what I mean? I know there's stuff blocking it, but it kind of just, the way it looks like I just walk through it. Okay, I'm getting distracted. Okay, I wonder if there's a way to make the gaps just slightly larger. Well, you know what? I suppose at the end, whoever, like, I feel like if you get this base and you're able to secure it, right? Because you'd have to build a base inside. If you're able to secure it, at that point, I feel like you should kind of be rewarded for that. You know what I mean? So if it is a little bit easier to defend than usual, I think that's fine. Because the trade-off is that your opponent could possibly take this one or this one, right? Since you've taken this one up here and you're kind of expanding this way, right? Let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, so yeah, and I can't get through there. Okay. Okay, I mean overall this map doesn't seem terrible at all. It seems pretty good actually. It seems really good. This might be a 5 already. I don't really see anything else wrong with it. I'll get so much hate. I feel like Migs, you're a terrible judge. You didn't account for this, and this. But no, seriously, it looks fine. Like, even stuff that doesn't seem particularly abusable by Terran. It's not like a Protoss player can't drop a Prism here, build a Nexus, and then spam 400 cannons on the rim of this, and you can't defend it, or attack it, I mean. And it's a cool feature. And it's a rush map, so it's supposed to be fucking, I just go straight across the map and attack. And it is, look at that. Alright, I like this map a lot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it, sorry, I know it's a black screen again. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5. I'm going to say island base seems extremely well balanced. Very interesting and unique idea with adding blockers to prevent Terrans from just lifting a command center to the base. What else is there? Bases are, let me see. Third base is a little easier to take, but multiple open pathways or multiple ramps nearby promote accessibility. And even if your opponent gets away with taking an island base, you can take the gold or opposite corner base as a response. Okay, yeah. That map seems really good. So that one is getting a 5. I approve. Wow, there's some bangers already. Jesus Christ. All right, as I was saying, I actually had to pause this video because I went to the bathroom. So we're going with Ghost River. Let's load it in. Let's close these extra browsers here. Okay. Oh, whoa. Okay, so Ghost River, fitting name. Let's read the caption or comment here. So Ghost River is a rush map with 6 bases per player and only 1 third base option. Okay. The uppermost path between the players is blocked with 4 mineral patches with the value of 10 each. Okay, good to know. Plus a destructible rock. There is also no Overlord pillar at the natural. Plenty of airspace, lots of rocks, and barely any line of sight blockers. The map also uses 4 cliff levels. Take that, Zerg players. No natural cliff for you. So you can't see me just spamming the same build again. Okay, so let's take a look here. Plenty of airspace. I can see a Zerg player. Overlord here, Overlord here. I guess maybe here? I'll load it into the editor and see. Oh, I'll load it into the editor and see. I was facing away from my mic. Okay, the spawn locations are super interesting because the last time we had a map like this with this kind of spawn location was what? Golden Wall? Kind of? What's another one? Oh, Stargazers. Yeah, Stargazers was the map. Okay. So we've had this kind of map before. Natural main base seems pretty big, but only really accessible from here. You can see where that wall off is right there. Minerals are mined by 10, so you'd have to mine 10. And it's in a place where I feel like it's pretty easy to spot. You can't really miss it. True. Third seems pretty far away, to be honest. Like, you'd wall here, but then your third is like all the way over here. And fourth base is on this side. So no matter what, you're expanding away from your opponent. There is no base in the middle. So that's interesting. I can't remember if Stargate had a pocket base. That's what it was. Okay. Stargate had a pocket base. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then your fifth is down here. Okay, this map seems pretty interesting. Let's load it up here. So let's download it. Ghost River. It doesn't seem like busted at all. Like there's so far at least these last 2-3 maps, it hasn't seemed like there's anything super obvious. Not that it's not coming, but I feel like last time I judged, one of the maps was already kind of crazy. Okay. All right, decently sized main. Cliff right there. Wall. So the third is a bit far, but I think it's okay. And the same thing that I was talking about here. You know, you could wall this entirely with depots. So it would take 5 depots. That's actually not terrible. This right here is 4 depots. Okay. Whoa, how did I do that? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I shifted the orientation. You could also just like put a bunker here again, like we talked about in the last map. But that's not tragic. We've had maps that are way worse. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so you take your third here, fourth, and then fourth. You can defend your fourth easier and the third easier because you can set up your tanks kind of like this. So I'll show you guys what I mean. So tank. And like I keep saying, I'm judging this from a Terran perspective, guys. Please keep that in mind. See, that's the problem with being a map maker. You gotta know all the matchups. You gotta be big brained. Okay. Space. Okay, in the middle of the map is pretty open. It's not. Yeah, it's pretty open. It's also very close. So like running a brick down the middle here is doable, and there's more ramps. I know you can't. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's ramps right here. So like if you're pushing with tanks, hypothetically, you can kind of position like that. A little bit of an open area here, but it's not terrible. These bases can be abused from the low ground, but it's fine. Like it's not like it's something that's clearly undefendable by any means for anybody for that matter. It just comes down to who's actually winning and who has a better army. If you have a better army and you're winning, it's way easier to stop your opponent from mining this base, right? And it's just harder if you're the defender, but that's fine. That's how the game should work because it should what should we call it? Favor the person winning, I guess. Or like the person winning should have some sort of advantages to reap. So that's fine. Okay, I have to like fix this. Oh God, what am I doing? Okay, that didn't work. Guys, how do I fix this? Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna fix that, but alright. No? Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. Alright, so overall though, I think this map is okay. It seems pretty good. I'm gonna put a tank there just because I'm curious if I could actually be abused by anything. That would be super annoying. And it's kind of far away, right? And it's not that, like, if I mine this out, I could just literally attack. Okay, actually, this is something we should take a look at because I don't think that's a good thing. Okay, so let's close this. Yes. Sorry, I'm gonna get a black screen again. Now we're gonna load this one in the game. That does seem like something that's a little too abusable, but we'll see. It's a map that favors early aggression, but you want to make sure that whatever early aggression it is like defendable. You know what I mean? That seems like it might be too easy to get, that kind of thing. I don't want to be Protoss. Okay, so these are 10 each, right? It seems like I think there's a way to like get a bunch of money, but I don't remember. I need to ask the map makers for some commands because I forgot. Okay. But they can only hit the gas, actually. Now, I think what this just means that you can't really wall. But I guess the issue is more so the elevator aspect of it, right? Like if I elevator units right here, the tanks cover a pretty good amount of space right here. And it's like not that far away because if I just mine this out, then I'm going there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not that you can't like you can see how there's a ramp here and there's a ramp here. It's not that you can't like defend it, but I feel like if they're able to just get here for free, it's kind of scuffed for other races. Yeah, because like especially people who low ground like wall like Protosses, for example. You know what I mean? Like I just keep hitting stuff, so you'd have to wall like build like your shit like this, but then that dies too. Like look at that, that's insane. You're like, fuck, what do I do? You know, you gotta build your buildings like this. Not gonna get hit though. I don't know what to say because it's definitely an abusable position for Terran. Like Terrans can definitely abuse this position, but I'm not entirely like 100% sure as to like how defendable it is. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's actually not that hard to defend, but at the same time, could be wrong. You know, like Zergs can spread creep here, and they could also mine this out ahead of time. Protoss, I mean, you could also mine it out ahead of time as well, and maybe even kill rocks here, because Zerg could do both, right? But also, if you mine this out and eliminate these rocks, I feel like it just creates another access point, right? On a map that already has 1, 2, 3, 4 access points, and it could be a little annoying, huh? This air base is pretty far too. Oh, just another map. I think you can only siege 1 tank here too. I actually like to put this kind of stuff here. We can just try to test it. Man, I'm sorry guys. I know this video is gonna be so long. I'm trying my best to like be 100% and actually analyzing the maps and seeing what's clearly busted and what isn't. Okay, can I siege here? Ah, okay, so you can siege there. I don't know, boys. This doesn't seem particularly abusable. This is also a bit abusable, but they could also break these rocks. A lot of rock breaking here. I mean, the fastest 2-base Terran push can hit pretty fast, like 630. You'd have to, as a Zerg player, you'd have to basically eliminate both sets of rocks. And as a Protoss player, this map like also seems to be tough. But I don't know how you would balance this. You know what I mean? Okay. Otherwise, I think the map is really good and interesting. But just this part here that I'm kind of worried about. Oh, this is like insanely open, by the way. This is fucked. Look at this. You have to like add your buildings in the front here. So, and this is another thing, I talked about this already before, but like the fourth, the accessibility of the fourth, you don't want it too easy to take and defend where Terran can just turtle on 4 bases. But you also don't want the map to not be defendable, you know what I mean? So it's really, really hard to find the right balance between bases for free and bases not for free, you know? Okay. I think I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3. And the reason why I'm going to give it a 3, let me just review the guidelines real quick. Okay, 3. This map has issues, but could be used competitively. I think that's true. I think it has issues, but it could be used competitively. I think that's exactly what this is. Okay. So I gave this map a 3 because I felt that the tank position next to the mineral wall by the natural is a bit too abusable for Terran. I think it's difficult to balance because the map is a rush map. So the distance between, or the time it takes to get to this position is not much, and it may make it difficult for the other races to be prepared in time. Additionally, the other 2 rock placements are also very good for a Terran. And unfortunately, this is the only 3rd they can take, right? Because the other base is the 4th, so there's no like linear versus triangular they can take. So every game they would need to account for this one particular spot. And again, this is just my opinion, my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. Or let me know what you guys think. And if you guys feel like I'm just being a little bitch, you can call me out too. But I do feel like it is a bit, it's quite abusive with some of the terrain aspects of it. The 4th base is really open, but that's just a separate thing. I mean, at this point, I think as a Terran, you're just walling in front of your buildings. You're just building other buildings in front of your command center and just hoping it doesn't die. Pretty much, like I feel like you're not meant to have a reasonable expectation of being able to just wall off the base, entirely, or wall it out. Okay, so that's we're gonna put that. We're gonna move on. We're 3 maps in. We're 45 minutes in. We're 3 maps in. Let's keep it running. I think I would just have to upload this in parts. I'm sorry, guys. So we're just gonna do hour. I think I'm gonna do hour videos, and then yeah. Whoa. Okay, this is pretty interesting. All right, let me close this editor because I can hear like stuff. Oh, it's in the game, I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No base here. Natural. Whoa, that's a really. Damn, that base looks far as fuck. Jesus. It looks insanely open too. In a place retaken by nature, 2 ridges cuts through the terrain, dividing the map in 2. The small ramps outside the natural expansions are blocked by weakened debris, begging to be cracked open. Ayo. Due to the map's expansion pattern and the attack paths leading to the natural expansion, army positioning and high mobility will become keys to success as the game progresses. Notable... Oh, fuck me. Go back. Notable features... Small patches of bushes will keep players on their toes when moving through the map, aka a disruptor ball is going to fly into my face. Debris can be destroyed to open another high ground attack path toward the triangular third. Okay. Weakened debris is blocking the smaller ramps outside the natural expansion. Wait, what? Weakened debris is blocking the smaller ramps outside the natural expansion. Oh, here. Weakened debris. Okay. That's a pretty small ramp. Interesting. Like I said, again, I know we're not rating for aesthetics, but these maps are looking beautiful. I'm not even going to lie. So very, very well done to everybody who's been doing these maps so far. They look very, very beautiful. Okay. Damn, that base is like... It was kind of fucked. I don't know. If I'm being honest, I'm looking at this, and with the way the bases look, I feel like I would just veto this map. Okay, I'm still gonna open it and do all this stuff. I'm just saying, like if I was doing like a hero marine judging right now, I would just be like, oh, okay, bye. Okay. So for me, it's this base here seems like it's really far, and it also seems like it would be incredibly hard to defend. Like once you get 4 bases, Zerg just has so much creep usually, right? Let's say in a normal game, that they're able to connect all their bases a lot better. So it feels like that although maybe one base is particularly far for Zerg, you know, as a Terran, if the creep is up to the middle of the map, I have to get through that creep before I can even think about approaching that base. Because if I just yeet my army onto the creep and I try to abuse and attack this base, you know, creep is such a good buff for Zerg that I could just die trying to do that, right? Whereas I feel like if you're the Zerg player or Protoss player and, you know, I'm trying to defend this base, you can kind of just walk up to it, set up, and then go for it. You know what I mean? And there's no process of like, oh, I got to clear out this creep and like vision and stuff as I'm leading up to it. Does that make sense? And then this base seems kind of far. Like, I would just expand this way. All right. Or even in TVT, like it would be super annoying for a guy to just show up right here and then kill your fucking natural, and then your army is all the way at your third over here because that's your new base and you're trying to defend it, but you can't actually tell like. Okay, let's see. I feel like I need like music. I feel like I need some lo-fi with this. I feel like I need some beats. Okay. The hell are these arrows? Yeah, I can't even tell in the editor. Okay, we're loading into the game. We're going straight into the game. Fuck it. Oh, let me in, game. Hello? There you go. I should put like a command center or something. That's an interesting way of doing that. Yeah, guys, this third base just seems so far. Okay, because the problem is, well, like if you're a Terran player or even a Protoss player, like it's way Actually, I want to pause it. It's way easier to defend your main base from drops when you have this in a triangular expansion, right? That's kind of the benefits of expanding that way. That's the idea. As a Terran, if I were to expand this way, right, the linear bases, I leave my main heavily exposed, and that's super unfavorable. Like I'd rather not do that. You know, so I'm going to take the third here. This was my third here. But then now this is super exciting. And it's not even like oh, just have better vision, you know, because this is actually so far away. Like it's insanely far. So for me to have to like be positioned here and then have to, oh shit, they're over here. By the time I get up there, I can't actually defend, right? They're going to siege my natural and they're going to kill me. Okay, it seems like there's no counterplay. I'd have to see him coming from this point, but then they could just go around this way, and then it's just like it's kind of insane. And as like a Protoss player, I can't even imagine. Like your bases are so far apart that really when bases are insanely far apart like this, I think they benefit Zerg the most. Okay. Like sure, maybe if a Zerg was gonna take 3 base on this map and they get 2 base hold in, it can be hard to defend. Like I could abuse tanks right here and hit this base, right? But if they're able to get all the bases connected at some point, then it's fine. Whereas I feel like as a Terran or a Protoss, even if you have the bases connected, or let me rephrase that, even if you've taken the bases, it's still not fine because it's still very difficult to defend them, right? You don't have that buffer that is creep. Okay, if we're being honest here. So yeah, this map just seems like it would be really, really hard to play on competitively. And I think the biggest issue is just this base. If this base was just slightly more accessible in some way, maybe it has to do with the orientation of it. Maybe if I was like facing, it was like this facing this way, then I think it's better. But it's just insanely far away from the other bases, and expanding this way is going to be really, really unfavorable for Terran and Protoss alike, for the same reasons that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's gonna be my take on this. Okay. Let me know what you guys think about that particular map too. I'd be very curious to see what you guys think. Unfortunately for this one, I'm gonna have to give it not a 1, a 2. Well, yeah, I think it shouldn't be used competitively based on how it is now. I think it's just too big of a thing to change. Yeah. So give it a 2, and then I'm just gonna say that in my opinion, I don't. It's not. I know it's already in my opinion, but like, okay, the third base, on this map is in my opinion, too far away from the natural and linear third. You know, 2 base Olins might be pretty big on this map. As a Terran or Protoss, if I was going to play, so I won't have to take a third. But I think Terran is only the one that has decent 2 base Olins. Like, I don't think Protoss has any good decent 2 base Olins, you know? So they would kind of, actually, I'm not, like, I should just not comment on the other races. Like I said, I don't actually know. So I try and go to third base on this map. Is, in my opinion, too far away from the natural and linear third. I do feel that, I do feel that. As a Terran, you want to try to take the base that best defends your main from drop abuse or warp prisms, blink ups, etc. in TVT and TVP. But if I decide to take the linear third in favor, if I decide to take the linear third, then my main becomes too exposed. The distance between the bases, or let me reiterate this. When the bases are too far from each other, it feels like it benefits Zerg a lot more once they connect the bases via creep, and I think many Terran and Protoss players will resort to just 2 base all-inning because the third and fourth base potentials just too far from each other and quite abusable. Yeah, like not abusable, like not in a good way. Like Baneling Renvai is in my natural, third Ling's running into my third, my fourth is just like impossible to defend because it's already so far away, and like they're just gonna kill my bases until it shrinks down to just 2 bases. Okay, so we're gonna do one more map here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do 5. It's already been an hour. I think what I'm gonna do, And I'm literally gonna pause the recording. I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm just gonna go do it again. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, it's just too far, man. Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. Jesus, so far. It would just be a race of whoever outmaneuvers, like, just sets up right here and sieges his base, and that's it, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, game? Don't be frozen, please. I need to do some more maps. Okay, good. Close this. Whoa, that looks crazy. What the hell? This is some shit out of Tron. Okay. See what I mean? These. Oh, I like the name. Okay, let's read the description. All these maps are looking sick. This is a very useful resource for judges and TLMC admins, who are examining dozens of maps. So please try. What the fuck? Informative and concise. Recommend 700 characters at most, although this isn't a hard limit. Wait, what? I recommend around 700. Oh, they copy and pasted it. I understand. Okay, 0.5 gigahertz is a map that, from inception, was designed to put players against each other throughout the length of the game. The map does this with very short rush distance, transcending the suggested 33-second main-to-main ramp by cutting down to as much as 28. Whoa. Expansions and closer to center locations and checkpoint choke points. So wordplay there. Short list of features. 13. What? 13.456 tiles? What's the math on that? 28-second rush distance main to main. Some unbuildable terrain behind natural to counter low effort cannon rushes. Haha! Get fucked, rocker! No, I'm just kidding. Air path to natural. Air path behind third to main. Mostly 2 force field with ramps. Okay. With a single 3 width in the center across the diagonal. Shit. Alright. So here's the main. Dude, that's fucking... This map is trippy. Okay, so you see this map? Like, this... Blinking this is fucking insane. Like, look at this. You're just dead. I can tell you right now, if 2 Reapers can jump up here, we're proxy 2-Xing every game. Look how many cliffs there are. 1 cliff, 2 cliff, 3 cliff. Now, I know this is a rush map, and it's supposed to favor early aggression, so that's fine. It's the same with the 4-gate blink. Not unplayable, just... They're going to be very annoying to deal with. Okay, there's natural. Where's the fuck is the third? It's kind of the same thing as like the last map, where it's like, if I were a Terran, I think I would just try to take the forward base, but against Terran or Protoss, like TBT or TVP, man, I don't know. Not taking this and just leaving this open feels like really risky. Especially if they can drop behind here and through here. Right? That's pretty insane. I could already see, as somebody who coaches like Diamond to Masters, I could already see like a Diamond player sending me a replay and being like, I don't know how to stop all these doom drops from happening. Okay. This space looks like it could also be abused by this and this. Damn, it seems like a clusterfuck. I can already see so much stuff happening. Like, not in a bad way, just like a lot of aggressive stuff happening. Choke in the middle here. Okay, but honestly, as a Protoss player, what the fuck do you do? I feel like Protoss needs at least one base close enough. Right? Like, could you imagine as a Protoss taking this base? Look how far away you are from your natural. Or I could put tanks right here and cut you off. That's crazy. No shot. Okay, let me load. That's crazy. Man, I think for the next video I'm gonna add some lo-fi music because this awkward silence shit is just not for me. I need something to fill the void when I'm not talking. Okay. Oh, dude. Can I put any tanks here? Really? Uh-huh, liar. Of course I can. God, that's so loud. Oh, dude, that is scuffed. No shot. Could you imagine? Like, I cut you off right here. Oh my goodness gracious. Jesus Christ. Sorry, it gets quiet because I'm thinking. I know. It's probably an insane thought that I would think. Okay. Dude, no way. The log's kind of busted. Like, Protoss is already doing pretty bad right now. I totally fucked this up. Okay. Dude, that's... Like, I know getting this position is one thing, but, like, if you get this position... Dude, how do you stop? Look at this. That is disgusting. Because as a Protoss, right, you take this as your natural. I guess the third doesn't seem that far. This base. And then what do you do after you take this base? I guess you break the rocks and take this base, but then it's the same thing here, right? Like, I could scan right here, put my tanks right here, and I'm hitting your shit from across the ways. Damn. I don't know. This map. If I were a Terran, wait, I am a Terran. What am I saying? As a Terran on this map, I would just 2-base in everybody. Zerg, Terran, Protoss, I don't give a fuck. And I would just like set up this abusive spot right here. Or even like right here. And I'll just hit shit from here. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, even if you take this as your base, as your third base, like, what's stopping me from just going around this way and then putting my tanks right here instead? There's no like good alternative. Does that make sense? Like, even if you just say, oh well, why don't I just take the one in the middle? Do you have kind of into the same problems of me not only abusing this, but then like flying into your main and killing your shit? Yeah, dude, that is scuffed. I would just 4-game blink goal in every game as a Protoss in this map. Because then I would do it. I would get to the other side faster than a Terran 2-base all-inning me. On 5 racks. Also, look how many cliffs there are. Cliff. Seems pretty good for 4-game blink as well. But the thing is, 4-game blink is annoying, but it's defendable. This right here is straight up abusive, in my opinion. Like, straight up abusive. Should never be used competitively. I don't think it's not like that. It's not like that. Like, this is something that could be fixed, adjusting the map layout. I don't think it's like starting from scratch kind of thing. But that definitely seems really, really good for Terran. I gotta be completely honest. Okay. So it's kind of the same issue as the map before this one, right? Wait, no, it's not. I think it was Ghost River. But the thing with Ghost River was that the tanks... This This is like the epitome of disgustingness because the other map, Ghost River, the tanks could position in a kind of a nasty spot, but there was no like terrain to kind of act as a wall off, right? But on this map, no matter which side you take, I could have my tanks behind some sort of terrain here that acts as a wall off and kill your shit, right? So, and trust me, if a Protoss player's army is like right here and I get to the spot, pretty dead. But then you're probably wondering like, okay, if a Protoss player lets you get there, then that's their fault, right? And I guess that's also true, but I feel like there should be some sort of counterplay. It shouldn't be just like I load up for my tanks, and if I get to this spot right here and set up, then you're just dead anyway because there's no more counterplay for you kind of thing. Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with that. Okay, so I'm going to have to agree my rating of a 2. I'm agreeing with my own rating for this reason. Okay. 4, 5. Okay. So, let's see. But how do I, like, explain this? Okay. Below the natural ramp to the right where the gas is, gas of the forward bases, there is a spot there where multiple tanks can stack up and completely remove access between the natural and the third. To me, this seems extremely abusive for Terran players. I'm the Terran player, so I know what I'm talking about. It seems extremely abusive for Terran players, and while it is possible for the opponents to, what's the word? To even like prevent it from happening. To prevent it from happening, comma, it seems that, right, it seems if the Terran does manage to secure the position, it feels that it feels like there is limited counterplay, right? If you were to take the forward base as your third base, then the same issue occurs with the base that has the destructible rocks behind the forward base, right? Because you can do it. It's not that you can just do it in one spot. You can do it in 2 spots. So no matter which base you take, it's possible you get absolutely cucked by just like a dude dropping 4 tanks right there and fucking up your shit. And that's actually very abusive. Like, if there's counterplay, it's fine. But to me, it just seems like there's no counterplay. It's either you prevent it from happening, or if you don't, you just die. That's my take. All right, so we're 5 maps in. I think I'm going to stop now. I'm going to take a break. And I'm just going to record chunks. Like, that's it. It's going to be a long-ass playlist of videos. As you guys can see, I'm really trying to take my time with the maps and, like, actually talk and, like, look at them and whatnot. And I also understand that because I'm doing it that way, it's going to take a long time. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep cracking at it. Let me know what you guys think. This video should be up pretty soon before I finish some of the other stuff. If you're a map maker and you have any advice on like the commands for doing stuff like, I don't know, infinite minerals or some shit like that, that'd be greatly appreciated because I honestly forgot from the last time we did this. And yeah, otherwise, thanks for watching this first part. I'll keep going. I'll keep grinding. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a like, give me a sub, give me a follow. Follow. This is YouTube. Give me a like or a subscription. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.